What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Entre Mike back with an Entre short for entrepreneur. And in this video, we're going to be doing a spot market update for box trucks on the DAT1 load board. If you guys want to see your city and state for next week's lane search, please drop that down. And also, if you guys need help starting your business, we now have a team set up who can help you with that in the description. All right, guys, first, before hopping into the lane searches, we're going to do a small spot market update. This is the national van rates over the past week. Looks like we're kind of trending upward or right around the same. It looks like Southeast has gone down a little bit. South Central is 201. Midwest at 220, holding strong as the highest. And surprisingly, we got the West Coast looking pretty strong. And then as far as the load to truck ratio, it looks like we've dropped a little bit in the Southeast for Georgia and Mississippi. So that's either showing that it's more trucks in the area, or it's showing that there are less loads in this area. It's that simple. It's either more trucks starting up in these areas or less load volume. Now, as far as the load to truck ratio, this is pretty important to, like I said, get a gauge on how many carriers are in the industry versus how many loads are in the industry. Looks like we're still above 2023 and 2024, which is pretty important to know. It's going to be interesting to see if we're going to trickle back up to that 7 or 8 loads to truck once we start getting into peak season for dry vans and box trucks. But let's go ahead and jump into the load searches that you guys requested in last week's video. And let's go ahead and start off with Atlanta. We're going to go with the highest rate, which is going from Dalton, Georgia to San Diego, California. Van, 26 feet, 6,500 pound, golf mats. Looks like right now we got $2,000, $214 a mile to go from Albany, Georgia to Shelby Township. But it is a team load. So both drivers are required at pickup. And in order to run this straight, you are going to legally need a sleeper berth in order to do that. So an actual sleeper cab and not a day cab. Let's go ahead and go to the highest rate per mile. We got $216 to go from Case, South Carolina to Florida. Pick up 9 a.m. sharp tomorrow, deliver same day. So 416 miles. This will take you about, maybe 6 to 7 hours to make $900. Not too bad. But you're probably not going to be able to, you probably will find something out of here, but nothing paying too well, honestly. We already seen this load. Let's go to the next one. I'm guessing this is the same one. Yeah. Going to Mississippi. 950 for 451 miles. 211 a mile. Plastic articles. What else we got? Let's try McDonough for $1.73 over to Miami. Paperwork on hand, printed out, truck empty for pickup. So I'm guessing you odor free is crazy. That's kind of a weird comment. Never seen that one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next city and state. All right, guys, the next search we have is Saginaw, Michigan. Let's go ahead and start with the highest rate. We got $2,800, $1.76 to go from Oakwood, Ohio to Salt Lake City, Utah. 2 pallets, driver must track. Lift gate plus pallet jack needed. No Sprinter vans. 4 feet for $1.76. So this is an amazing partial. But if they're asking you to track it, they're probably gonna require not just tracking, but that you dedicate this load. But it is pretty light. $1.46 to go from Michigan to Arizona. 3 drops for $1.46. Not the sexiest thing. And these are highest rates, not rate per mile. I think the rate per mile is going to be pretty high considering it's in the best area for freight. Lift gate, pallet jack. Let's skip this one. Got one going from Michigan to Colorado. No comments. Let's go ahead and go to the highest rate per mile. See how high we can go. Got $252 a mile, $1,600 to go to Tennessee for a straight box load. That is impressive. Let's see this one going from Michigan to Maryland. 26 feet, 6,500 pounds, 216 a mile. Not bad. Tracking required. Kalamazoo, Michigan to Nebraska, 210 a mile. Must have 12 months so of authority. You must have a year-long authority to get this load, but it's good that you guys can at least see brokers who are posting these requirements just to know you're not in the dark. Let's go ahead and move on. But these are some pretty solid loads, honestly. Now, one thing that I do want to go over, and this is for today's sponsor, Riviera, is the credit score. I want you guys to be very mindful of this credit score in order to get paid. Riviera offers some of the lowest factoring fees in the industry, and they also do take box trucks. The reason why I have partnered with them is because previous partners were throwing away box truck leads. They didn't want to take them. So if you guys need a good factoring company that works with box trucks, check out the link in the description for Riviera, and let's go ahead and move on with the rest of the video. All right, for the next search, we have Chicago, Illinois. Let's go to the highest rate to start off. We got $1.82 to go from Chicago, Illinois to Las Vegas. 26-foot box truck with 10 straps. I always say have a minimum of 15 to 20. So 10 straps is it could be pretty normal for a full truckload size. We got Indianapolis to Washington. Team drivers or strong solo. This is wild. I don't even like how that's worded. What's a strong solo? I want my boys who actually know the industry to sound off what a strong solo is. Oh my God. Team drivers or strong solo. I'm just, all right. Drop off Friday. I'm not gonna harp on that, but that's hilarious. Oakwood, Ohio to Salt Lake City. I feel like we saw this one. 2 drivers must track. Yeah, we saw this load. Must be pretty close. Let's see this one. Chicago, Illinois to Kissimmee, Florida. This is solid. 240 a mile. Let's see. 2 pick, 1 drop. Both pickups are in Chicago, so that's not bad. First pick at 10. Second pickup. Direct. Must have lift gate pallet jack. The rates and the loads are looking very strong in Illinois, which is a really good sign. We got for the highest rate per mile, $2.52 a mile going to Tennessee. So 635 miles for 1,600 is solid. And it is posted for a 24-foot straight box truck. So that's a solid load, guys. No crazy comments. It's not hazmat if I had to guess. So solid. Schiller is at Schiller Park, Illinois to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Need pallet jack, 5 drops. Let's go ahead and move on. 5 drops is crazy. And for the next load, did we just go over this? Yeah. Got a load going from Chicago to Kissimmee. I feel like we just saw this one. 240 a mile, 1169 for 2,800 bucks. Let's keep moving. Elgin, Illinois to Manassas, Virginia. Must be U.S. citizen with a real ID or passport. 226 a mile though, 1,700 bucks. You can usually knock out most of this in one day. Do about 700 in a day. 225 a mile to go from, Richmond, Illinois to Little Rock, Arkansas. All of these are 26-foot straight truck loads. So this is pretty impressive. Pick up by 5 o'clock though. I guess it's today. So yeah, Chicago is not looking bad at all. But let's go ahead and move on to the next city and state, so we're not here too long. All right, next search we have is Piscataway, New Jersey. And this is on the highest rate for now. Let's put this down. Let's see. What's that? 116 a mile. $3,600 for 3,100 miles. Straight box. All of these mostly are straight box. Got Hudson, Massachusetts to California. 3,500 bucks for 3,000 miles. 2,400 bucks, $1.50 to go down to Houston, Texas. Shout out to H-Town, man. Didn't get no load search for Houston yet. 2,200 bucks for 2,600 miles. This is a partial 10 feet. about 90 cents a mile. Let's go ahead and go to the highest rate per mile. See what we're talking about. $281 to go down to Charleston. So $2,000 for 712 miles. Let's see what we got here. Need 26-foot box truck, 96 inches high. Usually need to be 96 by 96. Lift gate, dolly, driver assist at 4 stops. I guess 4 stops. VA, North Carolina, and Charleston. So you're getting about $3 a mile, but you got 4 stops. How many of those can you do? Maybe you do this in about 3 days. Because you'll have plenty of clock, but when you got 4 stops, you're kind of dependent on 4 receivers all having availability at those times to get you unloaded, right? So that's what you got to be careful for when it comes to those multi-stops. All right, we got Mifflinburg. Is it Mifflinburg, PA to Charleston? Is this the same thing, basically? Looks like they're quoting this around. Keep that in mind. If you see multiple brokers posting the same load, they're probably trying to get a quote. That's when you shoot your shot. Pallet jack, delivery notes, driver assist at unloading required. 2 pallets. Nothing crazy there. $211 a mile, $261 on the mileage. Which one got a little bit of length? Let's see. About 300 miles. Nothing crazy. New York, $1.96 to go 382 miles. Nothing crazy here. Let's go ahead and move on to the next search. And the next search request we have is Pittsburgh, PA. Let's go ahead and start off with the highest rate. Looks like we're pretty similar. Buffalo, New York to Washington, $1.38. 3,600 miles, $3,600 for 2,600 miles. Got one going from West Virginia to California, $2,200, 2,600 miles. I feel like a lot of these are repeating. Some of them look like it. Let's see this one. Zanesville, Ohio to Florida, $2,000, $1.73 for 1,153 miles. Let's go ahead and go to the highest rate per mile since we're still in the Northeast. Looks like it's that same load for $2,000 for 712 miles. Got one going from Pittsburgh to Raleigh. That's pretty good. No deadhead. 502 miles for $1,400. It's easily a maybe 8 or 9 hour trip for $1,400. Picks up at 7. Needs an empty truck. So that's a solid rate, man. Solid rate. 265. What we got? 301 miles. Probably what, 5 hour trip for $800. We got 53-foot dry van though, posted for van. You gotta always keep that in mind. Some van loads you will have access to. It's only 20 feet. Some you won't. We've already seen this load. We won't stay on it too long. Got Westerville, Ohio to Cordova, Tennessee. $1.85, 1,500 pounds. Something lets me know that this isn't 26 feet worth of freight. So you could probably tack something else on if you have time to. But since we're still in the Northeast, we're going to go ahead and move on to another search option that's kind of further. All right, guys. Next search we have is Berkeley, California. Start off with the highest rate. We are on the West Coast. Reno, Nevada. So we got to be pretty close to Nevada. Over to Las Cruces, New Mexico. Let's see. Dry grocery. 3,300 pounds. Full truckload, $1.55. Nothing crazy. See this one going to far Texas from California. No reefers, no sprinters, no box trucks, 4 U-boxes. So you need a driver in for that one. Got this one going to Wake Forest, 15 feet, 7,000 pounds. See what the highest rate per miles are looking like. Got 211 to go to Reno, Nevada. From the Reno, Nevada to, is that Soledad, California? Another dry grocery load. Must be some dry grocery coming all out of here, out of Reno. A lot of these loads are repeating themselves. Let's look at this one. 80 cents a mile to go 529 miles, Cali to Cali. Cali is not looking the best. 62 cents a mile, and it just gets lower and lower. So let's go ahead and move out of the West Coast back into another area with more freight. All right, guys, the next one is Knoxville, Tennessee. We're going to start off with the highest rate. We got Hebron, Kentucky to California for a whopping $1.40. So $3,200 for 23.24 on the mileage. Nothing crazy in the comments. Same for this one. Gulf Mass. I feel like we saw this one in Georgia, Dalton, Georgia to San Diego. Let's go from Frankfort, Kentucky to Norton, Massachusetts. Alcohol. Wonder if you can even carry that in a dry straight truck due to insurance. Probably not. You might want to ask your trucking insurance agent on that. By the way, if you need a trucking insurance quote, check the description. We can help you here at Log Rock. Takes 5 to 10 minutes to get a quote. I'd check it out if I was you. Greenville, South Carolina to Silver City, New Mexico. 25 feet, 5,400 pounds, 93 cents a mile. Let's see. Let's go to the highest rate per miles that's posted now. We already saw this one right here. Let's go to another one. Pendergrass, Georgia to Clinton, Mississippi. I feel like we saw this. Maybe in Georgia. This might be another one. Plastic articles. Yeah, I feel like we saw this. This is a new one. Candler, North Carolina to Lakeland, Florida. 26 feet, 8,800 pounds. No notes, but right at about $2 a mile. Asheville, North Carolina is just the same thing. Yeah. So multiple brokers are posting this just to see what they can get for it. Let's see. Louisville, Kentucky to Connecticut. Palletized freight. $1.82 on the rate per mile. $1,500 for 826 miles. Okay. East Point, Georgia to Florence, South Carolina. This is not a partial. Macro point required. Full truckload with boxes and crate stackable. Driver must provide pics of the freight after. $1.70 dedicated load. And with that load search, that's gonna wrap it up for today. If you guys want to see your city and state, please drop it down in the comment section and we can review those next week. Until then, like I said, for all of my new entrants who are just studying the market, they want to get in the industry, but they're not too sure how they're going to do it. Like I said, check the description, call the phone number to start your business up today. Realize these companies do charge a fee in order for you to get started. So nothing is free for it to be done. But for the guys who are not paperwork oriented, or for the wives who may not want to do the work themselves, I'm now partnering with a company to help you get that done for a fee. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.